another episode of Miami Cyber Diaries, where we spotlight innovators helping Miami and the world thrive in the digital age. I'm Matt Mulcahy, founder and CEO of Miami Cyber. Today, I'm thrilled to welcome someone that's transforming how businesses handle accounting support in the digital era. Joining me is Lauren LaMantia, founder of Lala Accounting Software Support, a company dedicated to making software work for you, not against you. Hi, Lauren. How are you?
I'm so good. Thank you so much. How are you?
Great, great. Thanks so much for taking some time to share your story and just talk about what Lala does for small businesses, really all across the U.S., right? I mean, your customers are everywhere.
We even have some out of the country.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love I love talking to entrepreneurs, and I started Miami Cyber to try to get customers in Miami, and mine are all over the states, even as far as Hawaii now. It's just everyone's got a unique story, right?
Good news travels fast. You're great at what you do.
Thanks, Lauren. I appreciate that.
You just jump right on this opportunity. Any few minutes I can get with Matthew, I'm going to get in front of him.
Yeah, so Lauren, just some background real quick. I've known you for, I think, 9 years. It's been very crazy through a lot of different ventures.
Yeah.
And a lot of different situations, but the relationship has always been the same, right? You've kind of been the software accounting expert, and I'm more techie infrastructure guy. So
how my stuff is supposed to work.
Yeah, a very symbiotic relationship.
Yeah.
But of course, as I start this, but of course, I really want to back up and start and focus on Lala specifically, because you've bounced around quite a bit, but you've always done the same thing. So talk about the transition from, working for someone else to really going out on your own. Was there a specific moment in time, or was there a specific pain point you saw in the market that drove you to start Lala?
Yeah, so the pain point was me trying to commit to the obligations with this other firm. I was a contractor, and I was lucky enough to be fed a ton of work, which is how I think I got a really good network and all these clients. But I was essentially running the business and then, invoicing and collecting money for these folks, and it all goes over there, and I only get like a little portion of it. So I'm like, wait a minute, and I'm restricted. Like I can't give everything that I want to. So I just kind of started with my friends and family, telling them I had to charge them, and it has blown up.
So there's really two mindsets, I think, when going into business on your own. It's kind of like the clean break, go all in, and just completely transfer, kind of like a slower transition into your own thing. So did you feel like one way was better suited for you, or did it just kind of organically happen?
Nothing's really changed other than I'm responsible for paying the bills now. It's essentially all the same. The clients always contacted me directly. I had built a great relationship. I think I'm trustworthy. I proved myself to be trustworthy. So the folks I used to work for, they allowed clients to contact me directly. And I never took any one of their clients, but they have since followed because I was the point person.
Right. So I know we've spoken, and you've grown organically. You have a team with you. You're based out of Charleston, South Carolina. And, like you said, something important is they just kind of come to you. So can you talk about, why do they choose you? Why do they come to you? And how has that helped your business growth? There's
a variety of reasons. I am so blessed to have built an amazing network of people. So I'm full of resources like Miami Cybersecurity. I've got some folks over at Intuit. I have some other people. Like, I'm not always a good fit for everybody. So I've always got people that I can refer people to as well. That I think has been a huge part in how we've grown. The other thing is I do what a client, I address the client when they call me. Whatever they ask for, we're going to fix. And then I do that well and build their trust. And they share information with obviously their peers, and people keep knocking on the door.
Yeah, I think networks and networking are so important in professional services, because the reality is we don't have all the answers, right? As a single person, we have the answers in our specific domain with things we're good at. And, one of the first deals we worked together, you brought on one of your resources who was like a data wizard. And,
Yeah.
recognizing that and kind of the technical aspects of what you do, even though, you do bookkeeping, you do accounting services. Let's talk about the technology aspect of what you do and really how you're impacting your clients today. So obviously Intuit is a big partner of yours. What are the other platforms that you're working with?
We're back in conversations with Xero, and I'm thinking about possibly bringing on a larger ERP solution, but I don't know how much I want to bite off at one time. Part of me is like, just do it all and get it over with so we don't have to go through two of these phases. But the other part is like, let's just do one, see how it goes. I don't have a world in those worlds, right? So and where I've come into play, I'm the person who's been around from the desktop era where there was no QuickBooks Online to, supporting folks in that environment where they knew it was working and everything was good, to migrations. And then that, migrations don't always go right. The tool sometimes doesn't pull everything over, and so you got to bring in an expert, and we've luckily been that person that people lean on. And I've got the most amazing guy in my back pocket that jumps in at any opportunity to help us mitigate that stuff.
So you said a key trigger word there, desktop. A lot of clients use QuickBooks. A lot of them are still unaware about the life cycles and kind of where things are headed with QuickBooks Desktop, now the Intuit Enterprise Suite, QuickBooks Online Advanced. So Pro and Premier are end of life, correct?
Yep, it's gone.
Right. Correct. So people can still run it, but there are no security updates. There's no active patching. QuickBooks Enterprise Desktop is still actively sold, actively supported by Intuit, correct?
Enterprise, yes, enterprise only.
Right. So what are some of the big reasons you see what keep people on Enterprise Desktop?
The biggest thing for most of my clients is the complexity of their business. There's no product out there that comes in its whole package like Enterprise did. It's got your, it can handle light manufacturing, inventory. You don't have to add on a bunch of apps and build these tech stacks that are, popular now. There's pros and cons to it, right? I'm a desktop girl at heart. It's totally antiquated. It needs a bunch of updates, but they're not going to invest any more money in it. But it is a powerhouse of a small business program.
So, knowing that desktop is kind of on, I don't want to say its last leg because they're actively patching it, but it's slowly riding off into the sunset. When clients come to you, they're starting a new business. What are the things you look for to fit them into the various kind of subscription models? And, I did this with you when I started my business. You sold me the QuickBooks licensing and fit me into the right one. But what are the important things people need to understand when evaluating financial software for their business?
Primarily, who is going to be working in it? What are you going to need to see and when? If you need to be remotely accessing something 24/7 or have the ability to do so, desktop's not a great software for you to be entertaining. So when we decide how we're going to pick out a software or a level, subscription level, whatever, we need to understand how you're running your business. Right. So if it's an established organization, we need to know how you're running your business. For newer folks or folks that are, coming over from a different software, we still have to understand how you're planning to run this business to make sure that it's going to work for you. Way back in the day, everybody used to keep everything in Excel spreadsheets, right? And that kind of came forward. Even to this day, I just had a client last week who's like, "Oh, let me show you my spreadsheet." I'm like, "What?" Anytime we're double entering things, we're not doing something right. So leveraging the software to its fullest capacity is one thing, but if you're missing the things that you need to run your operations, that's a whole different story.
So, I still see spreadsheets galore. I was on a call literally this morning and they opened their passwords and they were in a Google sheet. And it's just like, oh man, where do we start, right? So it brings me to an important point is, when you see that and it's not good and you need to transition them into a more mature platform, how do you define success? Where's the line that you get them past that you're comfortable saying, that you've brought them to kind of the Holy Land or the utopia of financial health?
So I have to go based off of how I am in any environment of change. I'm hesitant with it. I don't know what to expect. I don't know how it's going to work. I'm comfortable in what's happening here, right? So I'm comfortable in my spreadsheet. I don't automatically say, all right, put that aside. We're going to forget about that. Let's move on. You've got to bring them a level of comfort and understanding and to feel empowered that they're going to get everything that they needed from that spreadsheet inside their software before I can say it was successful. And when they
Right.
call me and thank me and say, hey, you saved me a ton of time, we're excited about that.
Yeah, everyone wants time savings. And I think that's great to talk about because one of the things that I'm seeing primarily is, I have a cybersecurity background. Cybersecurity doesn't move the needle. That's not what people want, right? And to your point, people probably don't want to talk about the nuts and bolts of managing finances. They want streamlined operations. They want high confidence that things are happening accurately, especially with finances, and that there's minimum human capital involved. So really we're transitioning, AI obviously is a hot button topic, but what I see is most people want automation. So in the financial services industry right now, do you see that's a similar trend?
We're watching it so closely. We're internally here, we're rolling out a ton of workflows to help Lala's operations so that I can feel comfortable with what's happening. One of the restrictions we have though right now, unless you've got to tell me otherwise, the safety and the security of throwing clients' data out there. So that's something that we don't do that has not been safe or secure. I do know that Intuit, I think it's $1 billion, just went into a partnership with some AI company, OpenAI, I believe it was.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think, obviously that's the first thing that I think is gonna help kickstart that.
Yeah, they're signaling. I was watching football on Sunday and I saw an Intuit commercial and they were promoting agents, lead agents, because they're really trying to transform QuickBooks into kind of a business solution beyond just finances. So, I already see those trends coming and obviously a little cautiously optimistic. We'll get there eventually.
Here's the thing. They just keep creating work for me. So a lot of folks are scared in my industry. And I'm like, hold on a second. People, they're going to think that they know what they're doing, just like they always have. Intuit does a great job of marketing to somebody to say, hey, I can do this myself. I don't need to hire an accountant right now.
Right.
Well, you do, because you don't know,
and they
don't teach you how to work it.
They learn a hard lesson and they find people like you. Yeah, that's definitely so true. So I want to transition back to really entrepreneurship, because that's why I started this podcast, is to highlight everyone's journey. I've worked with over 100 different founders, and I find it fascinating, everyone's unique journey. You have a pretty special one as well, but it's not uncommon to transition from the situation you were in to where you are now. So through that transition into where you are today, what were some of the lessons you've learned?
Ask for help when you need it, for sure. Don't ask questions and ask them a lot, even if you think you know the answers. And know where your strengths and weaknesses are, right? I'm a type A. I need to control everything. I need to make sure everything's in its place. All my, my numbers are to the penny, but there's some things that I can let go that I need to be okay with. You can't run the whole ship yourself if you want to scale.
So, right. So, and scaling was where I was going to move to next. So as you've grown very quickly, you're transitioning out of kind of those traditional roles of being the financial operations person. Obviously, you still have oversight of it, but you're more turning into a leader and a mentor for your employees. How do you navigate that? And how do you approach leadership?
Ever since the very beginning, when I brought the first person on, well, my tech guy, my back end guy, my data guy, I've always included them in conversations about what I'm thinking about or what I've come across and might want to implement here. The last thing I want to do with somebody is make their jobs harder. So we kind of collaborate. We've got a really tight knit group, and I try to involve them as much as I can in the processes. Obviously I have the final say, but I make it seem like it's their idea.
No, I think that's a great idea because, making people feel heard is so critical to getting buy-in to any change you're trying to facilitate or make people supportive of. So I think that's a great approach. If you had to give one piece of advice to aspiring entrepreneurs, what would it be?
Okay. So I went into business as an entrepreneur in a specialty. I'm only good at this part. I'm not good at the marketing and advertising. I'm not good at the, driving different. I'm just not good at that. That's not where I thrive. Find those people, those resources to help guide you, hold your hand, take you under their wing, and or help provide them for you like you do for us.
Yeah, I think that's so critical. So one of my mentors, we had a fractional CEO for a couple of years that I worked with, and he would say the riches are in the niches. And it's like, find your lanes, find something you're really good at, and you can provide disproportionate value to anybody else, and stay in that lane until you've drank that well dry. So I think, and I hear that over and over in different ways, but the message at its core, I think, is consistent across really every industry.
Yeah, what doesn't evolve though dies. I mean, anywhere I look, I was just on something
Like
today, and there are people freaking out in all different departments. They're saying that we're not getting any leads, or we're scared of these bots. Just be yourself and do what you're good at. Do it well,
Yeah.
right? And if you have integrity, honesty, it's all going to go a long way.
Integrity and honesty, you'll already be ahead of like 75% of the market. So you can't go wrong with those two qualities. So, I appreciate all the perspective there, Lauren. We're going to hop into the lightning round. So I'm just going to ask you a simple question. You give me a simple answer. Does that sound good?
Okay.
All right. One word to describe Lala Accounting Software Support.
Integral.
Who is your dream collaboration?
That is so hard. What are we talking about here? Like for a project? What kind of project? Like,
yeah.
I mean, immediately what comes to mind are like all my people, Miami cybersecurity. I don't know if I can name drop here. I guess they wouldn't care. I've got a financial company that I work really close with, Coastal Strategic Capital, a CPA firm that I'm absolutely in love with, that I'm loyal to a fault, Barris CPA. All these folks work with everyone all across the country as well, and they've got powerful resources as well.
Right, and it harps on the same thing I was talking about in the professional services industry of, we don't know everything, and building that network of people that know their lane super well builds a cohesive model of ways to help, right? And that's what we do, right? We help people achieve their outcomes and achieve their goals. All right, next one. Favorite productivity hack?
You. My God, that's a hard one. I rely on you guys to help me be productive. I know how to get the job done and what needs to be done. I rely on a lot of folks to make it happen quicker, work smarter, not harder.
Yep.
So I'd say my personnel, my people.
Awesome. If you weren't doing this, what would you be doing?
The only thing that comes to mind is something in either like a nonprofit world, just helping wherever I can. I came from the beauty industry. I was in the beauty industry for a really long time, and I would love to go back someday and see if I still can wrangle a salon and stay spa.
Awesome. So this is kind of a funny string of words, but most exciting accounting tech trend for 2026.
I'm really excited about these workflows. I think I mean, from everything, not just what's incorporated into your database, but how we're going to get there. What information do we need to generate? I mean, this stuff's going to take out the guesswork
it's crazy.
Free up so much time.
Yeah, I know. And some of the stuff we've talked about with N8N, really in the node editors, Make.com, Power Automate, there's a bunch of them we've spoken about. I know you're looking to leverage them internally in your business and get some great automations, which I'm seeing the same demand. Well, people don't know they need it. They know they want the outcome. They don't know how to get there, and the technology is needed to kind of facilitate it, which is, what we're doing. You in accounting, me in kind of general technology. But yeah,
we'd be disservicing our clients if we didn't keep up with that, right? And I'd be icing myself out of the organization. I'm fine with all this tech stuff that's coming in. I'm not in fear of losing my position. I know who I am and I know what I can provide. Maybe it'll shift somehow, some way, but we're embracing it.
So for Lala, where can people find you, connect with you? What are the best ways to get in touch?
So I finally bit the bullet and launched a website that we're in the process of rebuilding. So, but it's lala.solutions, or Lauren@lala.solutions. Anybody can call me, text me. We're always looking to help people and for resources ourselves. So if you think you can help us, give me a shout.
Any final advice for anyone watching in terms of running a business, entrepreneurship, or just doing a good job and, succeeding going into the new year?
Yeah, limit your stressors. Don't take work home with you or work down the hall from your bedroom. Get out of there. Go do something.
Great.
The
Thanks
world's
so
a
much.
really big place.
Yeah, that's for sure. All right, Lauren, thanks so much for the time. I really appreciate it. Obviously, we'll be in touch. We always
Thank
are.
you, Matthew.
And really love the conversation. And until the next time, this has been Miami Cyber Stories. Lauren LaMantia, President CEO of Lala Accounting Software Support.